Hello, Year 10. Welcome to our genetics unit. Now, in our last lesson, we talked about mitosis, and mitosis was the division of body cells for growth and repair. So we talked about when we're getting bigger, so we're our zygote, early cell stages, and we're getting bigger, our body needs to grow, and so therefore our cells need to divide to make more cells for that growth to occur. Same happens when we break a bone. We need to have more cells to knit that bone together or replace the skin that you've taken off when you've fallen off your bike. And again, we need those cells to reproduce for that to occur. One good way to remember the difference between mitosis, which is what we looked at in our last lesson, and meiosis, which is what we're going to look at today, is I liken it to their sounds. So my toe is part of your body. So we're looking at body cells and the division of those cells. And meiosis, I tend to liken it to my ovary, and ovaries are where your sex cells are, so the eggs. And again, then it is the division of our sex cells. So that might not sound overly clear at the moment, but perhaps at the end of this lesson, that might be something that you can use to help you tell the difference between the two processes. So like mitosis, meiosis is a type of cell division. So it is making new cells by splitting old cells in half. And you can see that occurring here. The material has replicated like we talked about in our last lesson. So we have got the DNA has replicated in our cells, and now it's pinching in to form those two separate cells. So let's look at that in a little bit more detail. So as I said, mitosis is similar in that it's a division of cells, but it is also different to mitosis. And the big difference occurs where meiosis has 2 rounds of cell division. So in our first round, the parent divides, similar to mitosis, to produce 2 daughter cells. So then these cells divide again, so there's the second round of division to produce 4 daughter cells. And each one of these daughter cells, unlike mitosis where they were identical, because we're wanting them to be identical, if we're reproducing skin cells, we want more of the same. In this case, they're not identical. And this is where variation does occur, and where you can see that while you may see similarities with your siblings, you may also see that you're different. So just because you get half your genetic material from your mum and half from your dad doesn't make an identical child, because just the process of the division of the sperm and the egg makes for a unique characteristics. So I'd like you to put a heading in your book, meiosis, and I want you to take down a couple of notes. So mitosis is different to meiosis, and I actually can see that I have a mistake there, and I hope you picked it up. It's now been changed. So meiosis is different to mitosis. It has 2 rounds of division. The first round divides to produce 2 daughter cells, and the second produces our 4 daughter cells. You may even want to just draw a little diagram there just to help you remember that in a diagrammatic form. So when we look at meiosis, the final 4 daughter cells we get, so these 4 that we have down here, are what are called haploid cells. And haploid means they only have 1 copy of each chromosome. So they have half the genetic material of the parent cell. So the parent cell is called a diploid cell. So it has the full complement of chromosomes. So in humans, that would be 46. And our haploid cells, which are these daughter cells that are produced here, only have 23. And that's important when we're talking about them being our sex cells, because a human only has 46 chromosomes. And so if we have 46 chromosomes in our body cells, we're only going to want to have 23 in our sex cells, because they're going to pair with our partner, and we don't want more than that full complement of cells. So let's have a look here at this diagram, and you can see here that we have got the 2 stages of division. So similar to mitosis, we have our chromosomes here. and they replicate again in that same process that we talked about with mitosis, where the DNA helix unwound, and then those complementary base pairs came in and paired up, and we got two identical sets of that DNA. So now here we have got that replication having occurred. There's a process here called crossing over, and we might I might leave a lesson for that for those that are considering biology, where that's a really good opportunity for you to get an introduction into some of the more complex parts of this process. And you can see the process of crossing over is actually occurring here, where sometimes the touching parts, say, of the chromosomes, and you can see here they're touching, and now they've actually swapped some information over between them, and that again introduces variation into our population. So then one set of division occurs, and you can see that's the crossing over I was talking to about there before, where it has got some of the other chromosome on it. That is not part of the Year 10 course, but I will leave something there for those of you that are interested to have a read. And that is our first set of division. But we can see still there, we have got a full complement of chromosomes there. So we really want now half of that. So the second division occurs again. And these are our gametes. These are our sex cells. So leading on there, we have our gametes, and I would like you to write this down in your books also. So gametes are used in our sexual reproduction. So you can see here the sperm is fertilizing this egg. Now there's one egg. Sometimes we may release two, that may cause twins. Most of the time, twins occur when one egg is fertilized and splits, but if two eggs are fertilized, then we get non-identical twins, and we can talk about that a bit later. But here we've got multiple sperm, and it's a competition for the best, the strongest sperm to get in and fertilize that egg. And here you can see this sperm is going to come in and enter this egg. Now this egg has its own genetic material, so 23 chromosomes, and this sperm here, a gamete, has its set of chromosomes, again 23. So the 23 and the 23 come together to produce a zygote. So that's that early stages of a baby. And it is then going to have the full complement, the full number of chromosomes, which is 46, which is what we would like. So you may have already figured out that meiosis has a different purpose to that of mitosis. So mitosis enables an organism to grow and recover from injury, whereas meiosis is making our gametes for sexual reproduction. So both of them are important, and they're both important processes for us as humans. So without meiosis, you would never have been conceived, and without mitosis, you wouldn't have grown into the person that you are today. So what I'm going to get you to do next is go in, and we're going to do a couple of little activities. I'd like you to read through the sheet on cell division. Now you should be able to see that there are some notes there on meiosis, and there's some questions associated with that. So if you can complete that sheet that was provided for you in a previous lesson, that would be fantastic. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.